Here's a positive note. When it comes to body image, things for women are getting better. Yes, the media still pressures us to be thin. Eating disorders still plague us. There are still products and services trying to sell us what is a beach body, according to them. But we call those things out with a confidence and a clarity like never before. Social media is now full of women proudly claiming their bodies. Fat bits, saggy boobs, big thighs, new mum bellies, and all the other things that make us glorious. But for the last 2 weeks, I have been filming abroad with an entirely male crew. And let me tell you, it was a shocker. These guys were constantly lamenting their appearance, weighing themselves at every opportunity, sucking in their stomachs in every photo, shunning dessert, and comparing carb count and protein powder regimes. They spoke mournfully of the pressure to achieve the perfect body. It's about time we talked about whether male body image is in crisis.
OK. I kind of agree with you. I mean, what I don't agree with is the part where you say that, you know, we're across the body confidence issue with women, because we're nowhere close to it.
We're not across. I just said it's improving.
I know, but I don't think we're anywhere close to it even being improved. I mean, you know, there's lots of stuff that will say it's the single biggest cause of mental health problems, body image, in young women and in young men. I do agree with the fact that public dialogue around this is female-centric, that's for sure, you know. And because men aren't supposed to be worrying about their bodies. What you've just said, I think, about the guys you were with, to me, I've never come across a bunch of guys like that in my life, and I'm not entirely sure what I'd say to them if I did. But I think young men have always been crippled with anxieties about their body. We've just not talked about it. You know, boys growing up, they're crippled with... They lose hair early. They get acne probably more than women do. They worry about weight as well. But I think what's happened now is, and this problem is going to remain as long as society is obsessed with gorgeousness, and it is. Shows like Love Island, you have to be perfect. Not enough for a guy to be thin, you have to have a six-pack and abs and all the rest of it. And I think as long as the world of advertising, as long as the world of social media, TV, movies promotes gorgeous people, I don't know how that's going to change, Afua. It should, but I don't know how it's going to.
I think the point difference is that it's accepted that women are going to dye their hair, they're going to be on, you know, talk about diets constantly, dye your eyelashes, all the rest of it. But, you know, Kay Burley's written today in the Daily Mail about having had her second facelift in her 50s, and she's completely open about it. But there isn't the same openness and forgiveness accorded to men, and they're constantly laughed at for, you know, their comb-overs or their 2Ps or their man bods or their paunches. And that is, I think, underlines a lot of the anxiety that men feel, because if they do take steps to sort of cosmetically alter their appearance, they're considered unmanly.
So you're taking us back to the Donald Trump discussion on a very serious note. Traditionally, come on, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilding. Yeah. I mean, it's gone. People, young men have always wanted to, some of them, be, you know, strong bodybuilders. But the big difference, I think the big difference that's taken place is this rise of mobile phones
visual culture
and selfies. I mean, in the old days, when you had a camera, how many people turned the camera around and took a picture of themselves? I mean, it is ridiculous. Now, the biggest thing on the internet are photographs. Trillions of photographs a year are taken on the internet, and this narcissistic culture, sort of self-promoting, this is what's driving a lot of it.
Of course.
And the other side of it is not just wanting to look good in bodybuilding terms, there's also the negative side of it.
I guess what I'm saying is, and I'm not in any way to belittle the struggles that women still have, I agree with you, I'm not saying we've won that at all. I just feel that there is now a countervailing pressure, that there is a kind of backlash against that. Women are very, very vocal, calling out things that pressure them. You know, whereas I'm not seeing the same conversation amongst men. I mean, are you going to go public about your second facelift, Nick?
I haven't had a facelift yet, but you think these are my real teeth, you would be very, very much mistaken. I want to know who you were filming with, Village People?
Exactly.
Or the Chippendales?
Yes.
I mean,
these are regular guys,
with?
regular British men.
They're not regular guys that I know.
And they spanned from young, like, 20s to middle-aged, and all of them this was what surprised, and I don't usually, when you travel in a film crew, you're together for breakfast, lunch and dinner, kind of 16 hours a day, every day for 2 weeks. You really get to know people, and I just got this insight into what's going on in the psyche of this cross-section of British men that really made me think.
We trot out this mantra time and again, don't we, that looks don't matter. There's an amazing actress and presenter. Yeah, we do. We're always saying there's much more important things. Character, personality is much more important. But young people aren't buying that because that's not their experience. Their experience is that looks very much do matter. Looks matter to get you jobs, to get you on television, to get you fame, to get you money. And as long as that is being pushed in society, there's a fantastic. She's an actress and TV presenter called Jamila Jamil. Do you know her? Yeah. Okay. So she speaks a lot about body confidence of women, and she just says, there's an epidemic of low self-esteem among. And she said, for every moment they're thinking about how good-looking they aren't, they should be thinking about fun, whatever. But Jamila is the most glorious-looking woman ever. She's beautiful. So the message doesn't come across. You have this beautiful woman saying, looks don't matter.
Yeah, but she suffered from anorexia for years as a teenager and experienced some of the real mental health challenges that come from that pressure.
And I get what she's doing is coming from the very best place. But young people are looking at her, and she's devastatingly good-looking.
There are lots of women who talk about being fat and owning that as a term on social media. There's Saggy Boobs Matter is now a campaign. Big noses matter. There are lots of women who are trying to create positive movements about embracing.
They're not selling your
beauty, even if it's not what the media.
Devastatingly good looking. Get him in.
Yes.
It goes beyond this in that people now, the way they present themselves on social media, you don't see the real person. It's all photoshopped, and people are trying to portray themselves, not the real person. And I think there's this pressure.
Have you noticed men feeling under pressure? Either of you, have you experienced men?
I've got 2 sons, and I think that they are much more aware of their own sort of appearance than my brothers were when we were growing up. One, nobody ever took photographs of us, and if they did, they were burnt. And this scrutiny, self-scrutiny and also societal scrutiny via the visual culture has led to a doubling in eating disorders recorded by boys going into hospital over the last 8 years, almost a doubling. So what that tells us is that these pressures are now being felt, if not equally by both sexes, a lot by boys as well as girls and young men as well as women.
Your brother's lost a lot of weight, Rachel, I noticed.
Yeah, I know, it's all the selfies. Everyone asks him to take a selfie, Boris.
You mentioned Love Island, Carol. Let's just hear from someone who appeared on Love Island and also social influencer Adam Collard.
Both male and female struggle with it just as much, and everyone needs a little bit of support. But I think there's a lot more out there for women, and women seem to back each other up more. There is a lot of plus-size models and stuff like that, and they're supporting each other, they're helping each other, and there's a lot more out there, but there's not really for young males.
All I know is when I grow up, I want to look like Karen. I'd be quite happy with that.
Well, I'm not saying celebrity status doesn't have its perks, but the constant selfies, as we've just been hearing, autograph requests and attention from fans can sometimes wear slightly thin. So spare a thought for Pope Francis, who wasn't too keen on people getting close to his bling this week. The pontiff was spotted ripping his hand away from worshippers who wanted to kiss the papal ring as a sign of respect for the office. A close aide explained, sometimes he likes it, sometimes he does not. Just to let you know, this footage does contain flash photography. Take a look.
Watching this, he really doesn't
know. It's painful. Painful to watch.
Fantastic. Looks like Jean-Claude Juncker. That's Theresa May. That's Anne Widdecombe.
Franny, take my advice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Always keep this bad boy on you, and you can just undo the damage from any sticky situation. Bless you. That's why, Pope Francis, you're our mover and shaker of the week.
Wouldn't you think that someone would say to those people, don't kiss his hand? There should be an official statement, he doesn't like it.
He's a Jesuit.
But it's
I used to get caned by my Jesuit headmaster when I was at school in India for taking comic books to school. I got caned by my headmaster. He's a very kind Jesuit. the Pope.
He is,
Yes,
that's why that looks so
He's
odd.
a soft Jesuit, not a hard Jesuit. Is that what it's like? Yeah.
Right, soft Brexit, soft Jesuit. That's it for this week. But don't forget, you can join in the debate. Just search for The Pledge on Facebook or Twitter. See you next time.